Raymond Edwin Ray Mabus, Jr. is an American politician and member of the Democratic Party who serves as the 75th United States Secretary of the Navy since 2009. Mabus previously served as the State Auditor of Mississippi from 1984 to 1988, as the 59th Governor of Mississippi from 1988 to 1992 and as the United States Ambassador to Saudi Arabia from 1994 to 1996. Early life: Mabus was born in Starkville, Mississippi, and is a fourth-generation Mississippian. He grew up in Ackerman, the only child of the owner of the local hardware store. After attending public schools, he graduated summa cum laude from the University of Mississippi, where he was a member of Beta Theta Pi, with a B.A. in English and Political Science. He earned an M.A. in Political Science from Johns Hopkins University and a Juris Doctor, magna cum laude, from Harvard Law School. He also served 2 years in the Navy as a surface warfare officer from 1970 to 1972 aboard the cruiser USS Little Rock, and worked as a law clerk in the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. Political career: Mabus began his professional career working in Washington, D.C., as legal counsel to the United States House Committee on Agriculture. Following the election of Governor William Winter, he returned to Mississippi to work in the governor's office, where the youthful staff which included Mabus, Dick Malpass, John Heneghan and Andy Malinsa earned the nickname Boys of Spring from a rival state legislator. Mississippi State Auditor: in 1983, Mabus was elected State Auditor and served from 1984 to 1988. During this time, he participated in a large FBI sting operation which recovered millions in misspent or stolen public funds. By the time it was finished, Operation Pretense had ensnared 57 county supervisors in 25 counties, and all but 2 supervisors served time in prison. Governor of Mississippi: at 39 years of age, he defeated Tupelo businessman Jack Reed in the 1987 gubernatorial election by 53% to 47%, becoming the youngest governor in the United States. He won on a wave of black votes, and lost the white vote by about 3-2 despite support from what a coalition-won Democratic state chairman described as poor whites and yuppies. Mabus, who ran on the slogan "Mississippi will never be last again," was billed as the face of the New South, much like his counterpart in Arkansas at the time, Bill Clinton. Mabus was featured in a 1988 New York Times Magazine cover story titled "The Yuppies of Mississippi: How They Took Over the State House." During his time as governor, he passed BEST, gave teachers the largest pay raise in the nation, and was named one of Fortune magazine unregistered trademark S10 education governors. Mississippi also had record growth and new jobs, investment, tourism and exports. Because of the gubernatorial succession amendment ratified in 1987, Mabus was eligible to become the first governor to serve 2 successive terms in more than 100 years, and he ran for re-election in 1991. He was narrowly defeated in the general election by Republican Kirk Fordice, a former Vicksburg construction executive, who portrayed him as arrogant and out of touch with Mississippi politically, with a New York Times article describing him as a Porsche politician in a Chevy pickup state. Ambassador to Saudi Arabia: Mabus was appointed by President Bill Clinton to be the United States Ambassador to Saudi Arabia and served from 1994 to 1996. During his tenure, a 1994 border crisis involving Yemen was diffused. A 1994 crisis with Iraq was deterred. He presided over the embassy during the 1995 terrorist attack, child abduction cases were addressed, and contracts worth more than $16 billion were signed between Saudi Arabian and American companies such as Boeing and AT&T. Mabus' residence and embassy office in Riyadh were decorated with items of interest from his home state, including an Ackerman phone book on his office coffee table and the Mississippi flag next to the American flag. Secretary of the Navy: on March 27, 2009, Mabus was nominated by President Obama as Secretary of the Department of the Navy. He was sworn in on May 19, 2009, and held a ceremonial swearing-in at Washington Navy Yard on June 18, 2009, where he was re-sworn in by the Secretary of Defense Robert Gates. In April 2010 a furor arose when it was reported that Mabus made the controversial proposal to name a United States Navy warship the USS John P. Murtha, LPD-26, after the late Pennsylvania Democratic Congressman, John Murtha. Additional naming controversies occurred due to the naming of auxiliary ship after Cesar Chavez, and a corvette littoral combat ship after former Arizona Democratic Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords following her suffering life-threatening wounds in a 2011 mass shooting in her home district of Tucson, Arizona. On April 16, 2012, the Navy Secretary returned a naval tradition of naming certain warships after former U.S. presidents, announcing the next Zumwalt-class destroyer be named the USS Lyndon B. Johnson. Even this action represented somewhat of a change to previous norms, since with the exception of the current attack submarine, USS Jimmy Carter, SSN-23, and the since decommissioned USS George Washington, SSBN 598, class of Polaris Poseidon Fleet ballistic missile submarines, all recent U.S. warships named for presidents have been aircraft carriers. Secretary Mabus has a presence on Facebook and frequently comments about his daily activities. He is the first branch secretary to maintain a web presence. President Obama has asked him to develop a long-term Gulf Coast restoration plan as soon as possible. The plan will be designed by states, local communities, Native American tribes, fishermen, businesses, conservationists and other Gulf residents. Business ventures. In August 2007, he joined the board of Inersis, the world's largest manufacturer, marketer and distributor of industrial batteries. From 2006 to April 2007, he was chairman and CEO of Foamx International and helped lead it out of bankruptcy. Less than 9 months after his appointment, Foamx emerged from Chapter 11. Awards, honors, community service. Mabus has been awarded the U.S. Department of Defense Distinguished Public Service Award, the U.S. Army's Distinguished Civilian Service Award, the Martin Luther King Social Responsibility Award from the King Center in Atlanta, the National Wildlife Federation Conservation Achievement Award, the King Abdulaziz Award from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the Mississippi Association of Educators Friend of Education Award. He was included in Glassdoor's 2013 list of highest-rated CEOs at 43rd place with an 82% approval rate. He is active in many community activities, primarily focusing on education. Following Hurricane Katrina, he founded the Help and Hope Foundation, which works to meet the needs of children affected by the storm. He is a former member of the RAND Center for Middle East Public Policy and the Council on Foreign Relations, and is the Distinguished Lecturer on the Middle East at the University of Mississippi. As a photographer, his photographs have raised tens of thousands of dollars for various Mississippi charities. He has appeared on many television programs as an expert on the Middle East, including 60 Minutes and Nightline. In 2009, Mabus made a cameo appearance on the TV drama NCIS in the Seasona 7-episode Child's Play as an NCIS agent named Ray. Personal life. Mabus has 2 daughters, Elizabeth and Annie, with his first wife, and another daughter, Kate, with his second wife Lynn. Mabus is a fan of the Major League Baseball Boston Red Sox, having first followed the team during the 1975 World Series while a student at Harvard Law School. References. External links: United States Navy Bio page, Mississippi Historical Society biography, C-SPAN Q&A interview with Mabus, February 5, 2012.